2020
Fuck.
keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Imagine being the person in 2019 that swore this was going to be the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my year. This is all of our years.
Well, I remember that there was a meme or something that was going around towards the end of 2019 talking about how 2020 was going to be the best year ever because of how the dates fell for all the holidays and everything.
Yeah,
like Halloween on a Saturday. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, so much for that.
Welcome to While She's Napping. I am Adam.
And I'm Cindy.
Hey, so we're talking about, was it Justice Ginsburg?
Mm-hmm. Supreme Court Justice.
Why don't you take the floor?
Okay, so, yeah, obviously this is really terrible news for many, many people. We kind of, everyone knew that Justice Ginsburg was up in her age and had some health issues and everything. But I know even recently there were people on different podcasts and stuff I listened to saying, man, if 2020 takes RBG, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And now it happened. So,
this wasn't unforeseen though.
That's what I mean. I mean, she's had a lot of health issues. She's been in and out of the hospital, things like that. But still, it still feels pretty gutting for it to happen right now, so close to the election. And just obviously for who she was and all the things she did, and for her family and all of that. I mean, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that she's a person. And
of course, yeah.
But also in the bigger picture of what that means for our country, it has a lot of implications. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because I think there's going to be abundant coverage by people who are much more articulate and eloquent and informed than we are about a lot of the specifics and details about what's going to happen next or what might happen next. So I know on Friday night, immediately the NPR Politics podcast released like a 20-minute episode, just kind of recap.
Kind of have to.
Yeah, on her life and all of that. And so I recommend that. And then I know tomorrow, well, we're recording this Sunday night, so Monday, so today, as you're listening, both two of my go-to podcasts are the Higher Learning podcast I've mentioned before and also Pod Save America. And they both release episodes on Mondays. So I'm sure they're going to have some pretty in-depth, good conversation as well.
Yeah. Look,
I know you don't. Go ahead.
I was going to give her due respect.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about how you don't like Pod Save America.
I think the was pretty clear. When it came to that. No, I just think that, this was certainly on the radar for the rest of us, like everyone outside of just you, obviously. People were looking into this. People sort of had this in the back of their minds, and they also, it's kind of weird because there was this notion that, on the one hand, we watched that documentary and it seemed like she was okay. It seemed like she was doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we're hit in the face with this news, and I can just see people on the other side sort of licking their chops about it. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to how they're going to replace that. I don't know how it works when it comes to cases in the Supreme Court right now, because there's an even number of people. Right?
I don't think they can make a decision without a full court.
So is everything just on pause?
I don't know. That's my guess. I'm completely guessing because it's an even split.
Right.
I don't know how that's why I'm saying I'm too overwhelmed to even dig in and try to find the right information to share. So I
get it.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping track of everything and listening to more, reliable sources.
Well, it's tragic. Obviously, this person was very influential, especially when it came to women. I don't know the accomplishments off the top of my head, but I know they're wide, right? They're very numerous accomplishments.
Well, she just set a precedent as a woman, taking a leadership role and just not taking shit. But also, that's she was never like she wasn't involved in any scandal or like, like there's
Right.
nothing like that surrounding her career or her life. It's like she just was all business and she just wanted to get shit done.
Well, yeah. And she did.
Yeah.
She did get shit done. So
Yep. So I guess the only other thing I wanted to say about this is I've been posting a little bit about some of the volunteer stuff I've been doing for the election, and I just thought that maybe like if people are overwhelmed and thinking like shit, what do I do
Right,
other
right.
than, go and vote. We live in a blue state that is the smallest state in the country, and we have like, barely any sway in the election. Like,
No, we only have 2.
I think electoral votes. Yeah. But we're a solidly blue state already. But for the most part, well, yeah, we are a solidly blue state. I say,
Yes.
I sneak that in because we live in a kind of red part of our state. But overall, our state is not in the equation as far as I'm concerned. I think our vote matters. I will always vote. But yeah, we're not one of the swing states that's going to make or break this decision. So this year, for the first time, I am volunteering for the campaigns and trying to do more to make it count because I don't live in a swing state.
Right.
And so I just wanted to mention a few of them. So if you want to, the basic place to start is just check your own registration and make sure you're all set to cast your vote no matter where you live. You can go to vote.org and it has, you can check and update your registration status. You can request your absentee ballot if you don't want to vote in person. Find your polling places. You could volunteer to become a poll worker. There's a ton of options. And you can look at all of your voting options and deadlines by state because they vary because, why would we make it easy for people to exercise their basic right to vote? The other place you can go is votesaveamerica.com. So that's where I went to do my Adopt a State program. So that's where you adopt a swing state if you don't live in a swing state, and you can phone bank or text bank to contact voters in those states. There's a variety of different types of calls. There's like persuasion calling, which is kind of hard, trying to get people to nudge if they're an undecided voter. That can be challenging. But there's also just helping people get registered over the phone. You walk them through the process, like have them go to the website, and that feels very satisfying to know that you're making a tangible difference. And then also getting people to fill out their vote by mail applications and make sure that they have all of that settled. The last one is the letter writing stuff I've been doing. So that's swingleft.org or Vote Forward. It's the abbreviation of forward, FWD. So voteforward.org. This campaign is trying to send 10 million letters. And they're at about a little over 7 million. And some of these letters are sending vote by mail applications to voters in swing states. So that's very time sensitive. They have to go out within like the next week. So if you're interested in doing that, you don't have to actually talk to people. You just write letters in your own pockets of time. And you'll also be buying postage to send those letters out and supporting the USPS at the same time. So double win.
There you go. Okay.
That's my brain dump of what you can do next.
All right. Well, keep at it. Keep your heads up. I know 2020 has been god-ass awful,
A shit
but
show.
yeah. They took Kobe first.
Yep.
Fuck. We weren't even recording podcasts when they took Kobe.
Nope, that seems like a different lifetime.
Anyway, hey, we'd just like to thank everybody for listening. If you've made it this far, we're only 8 minutes in. We hope you just listened to the information that Cindy just gave. But I have to admit, we were going to do an episode about RBG.
Our reaction to, yeah.
But maybe we'll save that for when it's a little more well simmered in us, and we have more of a a clear head about the impacts and everying that.
Right, maybe there'll be a little bit more direction on where things are going.
But today we're going to talk about guilty pleasures. So we sort of wanted to lighten it up. And maybe this is appropriate given if your heads are down about RBG. But we're going to talk about guilty pleasures today, and if you stumbled upon this for the first time because you want to know our guilty pleasures or you want to hear other people's guilty pleasures, we welcome you to the show. If you've stumbled upon us from Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we welcome you. You made it this far. You might as well just subscribe to the show. We appreciate that. And we do content on the weekly. And we'd love to have you around, listen to our ramblings and our, at least my stupid stuff. More specifically, we'd like to thank people from all around the world. It's starting to broaden a little bit more. We'd like to thank people from the United States, Canada, the UK, Australia, Germany, Norway, Austria, France, India, and Nepal. Specifically within the United States, we'd like to thank those from Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California, Florida, New Hampshire, New York, Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, Georgia, New Jersey, Wisconsin, and parts unknown. You want to hit up the socials?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. It's facebook.com/while she's napping. We're also on Instagram @while she's napping, or on Twitter @she's napping pod, or you can email us at whileshe'snapping@gmail.com.
Yeah, hit us up. Subscribe to us on the Facebook. If you do not have Apple Podcasts, you can leave us 5 stars and a review on the Facebook page. But if you do have Apple Podcasts, and that's where you're consuming all your podcast content, we'd appreciate it if you just click the 5th star all the way to the right. Just click on that, and if you have the time, write a little review about how much you enjoy the show or don't enjoy the show. Just give us 5 stars regardless, because that makes us look better, I guess. All right, let's talk about guilty pleasures. Let's just dive right in. What I want to do is, first, everybody has them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a guilty pleasure. For me, I have quite a few. Some I haven't really indulged with you about this, and we've been married for 5 years.
Oh, God.
And we've been together for 13, so it's sort of, maybe this will be a little eye-opening.
I assumed I knew them, but you'll surprise me.
You might.
All right, we'll see.
I kind of want to discuss why people are so reluctant to give in, or rather to
admit.
Yeah. Because it seems that a lot of people have the same type of guilty pleasures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why are they guilty?
Well,
I mean, why do people feel so guilty about
because
them?
they feel like they're embarrassed. But
right.
what about them do you think is making people withhold the information? Some of them are downright creepy, I'll admit.
Yeah.
Like if someone says, "Oh, I like to," I'm just shooting in the dark here.
Hypothetical.
This is not mine.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if someone's, I like to put, a man is saying, I'd like to wear women's lingerie. Like, that is a guilty pleasure, but he's in I would assume, the privacy of his own home. He's not hurting anybody. He's just likes to wear women. I understand why that would be embarrassing to come out and talk to your buddies about. And be like, hey, just nothing like a good old thong on a Sunday. I get that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, I don't know, eating certain things or listening to certain things, why do you think it's so embarrassing to admit?
Well, I think it's probably a little different with if we're talking about things like food, or if we're talking about entertainment of TV or music. I think with with TV, for example, I feel like for me, I feel just like it is mindless, a lot of the guilty pleasure TV that I indulge in. And part of me is like, that's completely necessary sometimes, to just be able to shut your brain off and get absorbed in something that doesn't really take a lot of intellectual effort, doesn't take a lot of your mental energy. If you're just feeling exhausted from your daily life and you're stressed out, I don't think that's something we should be embarrassed about. But at the same time, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I feel like I could be doing things that are so much more productive right now. And I feel like it's like a waste of my time and energy to just indulge in like 3 hours of The Bachelor. but sometimes that's part of taking care of yourself. I really strongly believe that that's part of like your mental health, is if you need to shut your brain off and get lost in something that's meaningless and doesn't have any consequences to your life and just allows you to truly relax, then you should do that and not feel guilty about it.
I don't see a problem with that, but I don't know. I just think that when people, if there's a specific band or music that you like and you don't necessarily want people to know, you're driving and you pull up to a stoplight and you just turn it down a little bit. Like you don't even want strangers
jamming out
to know.
Like Nickelback or something.
Something like that. You don't even want strangers to know. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive right into some of mine. Do you want to start with ones that you do know or don't know?
No, I just want to hear it straight from you.
All right. Sometimes sometimes when I'm feeling down or feeling really fucking confident, I'll toss on Shake It Off by Tay Swift.
I did not see that coming.
That's a jam. That's a pretty good song.
I wish I have witnessed this.
Yes. Especially during the fantasy season when my team's winning. And I think I'm going to win the championship.
Not when you lose? You don't shake it off?
No.
Shake off the loss?
No. Because if I'm winning, I'm shaking off all the shit talk and the hate from people.
I'm legitimately dying right now.
Yeah.
That is like the last thing I expected you to say.
It's a good song.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I love Taylor Swift.
It's a good song, and it's a good uplifter.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay.
Yeah.
That was great. Okay.
Yeah. So if I ever win the championship in my Dynasty League, I vowed to myself on that podcast
Yeah.
that's how I would start the show.
That's great.
With that
You should
song.
make that your like in the years when we do our fantasy football draft, when we use the songs to pick our
Sure. Yeah.
our draft spot. That should be your song.
Yeah. It's a good song. I don't like Taylor Swift, and I don't necessarily even know how I stumbled upon that song. I think I just heard it one day.
Probably.
And I was like,
And you found yourself, your feet were
I don't
tapping and
know.
you just couldn't help it.
it's hard to not enjoy that song.
I know, it's super catchy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good one. So one that you do know, and I'm not ashamed really to admit this, so I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure. But I guess maybe all right, so again, not trying to draw gender lines here or whatever. I love This Is Us. I think that's a fucking
I don't
great
think that
show.
should be a guilty pleasure at all.
But
It's a great show.
So the demographic for that show is primarily women.
Okay. I can see that.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of outside of everyday real life.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously these things are hyperbolic. They sort of crank up the intensity when it comes to the drama. A lot of these
course,
things
yeah.
aren't, based in real life, but a lot of them are relatable. When it comes to that show, there's not much there to grab the attention of just a regular, ordinary guy, I feel.
I mean, but it's a show that is all about family, and you do relate to the idea of being a dad and
So that's what grabs me,
right.
is that because I'm a parent,
Sure.
I like to...
Yeah, but even I just feel like it's a good show with good writing. The plot is
It's a
very
great show.
it's
I love it.
intricate, the way that they bounce around with the timelines and everything. I just think it's a well-written, really well-done show.
Yeah, it's a great show. And it makes me weep sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So especially season 1 made me maybe weep a lot.
And I think because you didn't see it coming.
I didn't think I was going to enjoy the show, and I actively avoided it. And then one morning you were watching it, and I was watching it with you, and I wept.
Yep.
Had a little tear. A little precipitation from the eyelids.
Yeah, but I don't think you should feel guilty about that. I feel like we did a whole episode on toxic masculinity.
Sure.
But
This
you
is not
shouldn't
something
feel
I
bad.
wouldn't admit.
Right,
to
but I mean,
people.
like, just because you're a guy doesn't mean you can't have some emotional investment or
Of
feel
course.
emotional about a TV show.
I guess what makes it a guilty pleasure is because it's actively, maybe not aimed towards, but the primary demographic are women watching this show.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, no one's going to make fun of me because of it, but they would be kind of put back if they... I think some people would be put back if, or not turned off or anything, just maybe a little surprised if a lot of men came out and admitted they like This Is Us.
I mean, I know a lot of guys who like it, who like the show.
I don't.
I mean, it's more women, but I know of several guys who watch it.
I do not. So I don't. You're the only one I really talk to about it. You and your girlfriends. That's it.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's a great show.
the person that I work with, his wife, we talk about it when I see her.
Yeah. Does
And
he watch it with her?
No. He does not like it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. He doesn't like it, or did he even give it a chance?
I don't know.
He probably didn't give it a chance.
Right. Maybe. I
Just like you didn't want to at first, and then you got sucked in.
I didn't want to because I have a lot of other shows that I
Right, but it
watch.
sucked you in.
Yeah, it's not because I was turned off by it and whatever, but there's a lot of copycat shows coming out now, but all right, so
we're going to do a side note. I think we're going to do a whole episode on our favorite TV shows when fall TV returns in November.
Yeah.
I think that's on the docket.
Sometimes when it comes to other shows that I'll listen to and stuff, I obviously have other songs that I listen to and stuff, not shows. I'm on record here to say if you go back to the 90s episode, I've talked about how I used to love wrestling. My gym playlist is about 80% wrestling entrance themes.
That doesn't shock me.
It's so fucking good.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Well, I mean, there's something about it that really gets me going and
But do you
turns me up.
start it with Shake It Off?
No, I don't. That's not on my workout playlist. I wouldn't work
well, I could
out
see
to
you
that.
maybe you're not going to the gym right now, but when you were going to the gym, I could see you driving to the gym with Shake It Off playing now.
No.
Which, side note, the reason why that is so shocking to me, and for anyone who doesn't know you who's listening, you have an extremely specific and very I don't even know what the word is. You have fine taste in music. You're into very prog rock, very intricate. You like the 15-minute songs. You like
my favorite band is Porcupine
Tree, Tool, all that kind of stuff. So you are very you generally really dislike pop music and very simple music drives you insane. So that's why I'm so shocked that you jam out to Taylor Swift.
It's a good song. But yes, my gym playlist is about 80% wrestling themes, 15% Limp Bizkit, and 5% other stuff.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't shock me.
Yeah. So got to keep the biscuit in there. Also, on Netflix, sometimes when look, there is a wide library of shit on Netflix, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that just keeps flipping through stuff and would say, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I will actively watch old Power Rangers, Batman the Animated Series, and Avatar The Last Airbender.
I knew that's what you were going to say. Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm alone when it comes to adults loving Avatar The Last Airbender, but that is perhaps one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I got into it a little bit years ago.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. I wasn't as into it as you are. Not enough to pick it back up now.
If anybody hasn't watched that, I highly recommend starting from the beginning. It's a slow burn in the beginning, but once you get into it, especially the last episode is just aesthetically beautiful. Just the way the artwork is put together and everything, and just gorgeous. I will watch Avatar The Last Airbender. In fact, I am watching The Legend of Korra right now because I saw that it was on Netflix.
Well, so I feel like that's different because it's not what I was describing as a guilty pleasure, like with the example of watching dumb reality TV that has no artistic value to it. Even there's no appreciation. Yeah, but it's something that is there's art there. It's a niche thing, but it's there's talent behind the creation of those shows. I mean, you can't say that about the dumb reality TV shows. I mean, there's creative genius in how they get you hooked into it, but the content itself isn't anything artistic. I feel like that's more of a guilty pleasure in that sense because it's totally brainless than appreciating something like that.
Yeah.
Like you just described.
I just think it's well written, but it's a children's show. Same thing with Batman, the Animated Series. It's perhaps, people have said that this is the most accurate representation of the comic book Batman.
Yeah, but you could say, I feel like comics in general are kind of like a kid's thing, but they're not. There's
not
plenty
anymore.
of adults that
It
love.
used to be.
Yeah.
And,
and part of that might be like a nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
But I also just think, again, there's a legitimate art behind that people of all ages can appreciate.
Maybe. But yes, I will stop and watch old children's stuff. And I don't necessarily think Nicktoons and stuff falls into that category because I don't think anybody would blame me. But if I say, hey, if it's on, I'll watch 90s Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I think people would
I'm
be
not going
"Fuck
to act
is
like
wrong
I
with you?"
haven't walked into the living room on a Saturday morning and found you watching Power Rangers
Yeah.
and sat my ass down with a bowl of cereal.
That's
And
the best.
yeah.
It's great. Because you notice things that you didn't notice when you were a
Right.
kid. And what you thought was a great show, you're now watching and you're saying, this is terrible.
Yeah.
The acting is just terrible.
Yeah.
But it sucks you in.
Right.
Also, sometimes when I'm dicking around on Instagram, I like seeing videos of people fall. I can't get enough of those.
Me too. I haven't really seen it on Instagram though, but I haven't looked at that recently, but it's so funny. When I was in college, one of me and my roommates, that was like our thing. Like on Friday nights, we would like go on YouTube. This is before Instagram even was
Yeah.
really a thing. We go on YouTube and just like watch videos of people falling and like America's Funniest Videos. I've always loved that show.
Oh, yeah.
And the best ones are the montages of people just like eating
Eating
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I think that there's something hilarious about seeing people just fall, especially when it's completely not graceful.
Right.
And then they try to make it graceful. Yeah. I sometimes.
Yeah, that makes me laugh too. I'm with you on that one. That's definitely a guilty pleasure. And then you get like sucked in because it just shows you the next video and the next video, like the algorithm of social media now. Like at least when it was on AFV, it's like you watch the 45 minutes of AFV and the show's over.
Oh yeah.
But now with the social media algorithm and YouTube and stuff, they just keep showing you video after video.
I don't know if this is considered a guilty pleasure, but I'll maybe it's because we live together and our child doesn't necessarily eat the same stuff that we do, but
Well, we try.
I'll just eat stuff from the jar and just put it
Yeah, it's
back.
gross.
The carton.
Yeah, it's gross.
Especially so cottage cheese and peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just scoop, maybe two,
Yeah, it's
back
gross.
back in the cupboard it goes. How
And
else
you
are
leave, like,
supposed to
one-
eat peanut butter? I
but
don't
you
want to put
eat,
it
like-
on bread.
You could put it in a little container.
But that's so many
just-
steps. It's paste, right? So it's
Or just take the spoonful and just eat it off the spoon.
what if I want to?
Take a bigger spoon.
No, because then I can't move my mouth.
I don't know. But the cottage cheese thing, yeah, you do that. That's gross. And then you leave like one bite
Yeah,
in the container and you
it's
put
for
it back.
you.
It's when the fuck am I going to eat one bite of cottage cheese?
You might say to yourself, I could really go for a single bite of cottage cheese.
No, then it just stays in there. Then you open the new container without throwing away the old one with one bite in it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I learned that you're not supposed to do that once we had our daughter because like
Of course
looking
you're
at
not.
all of the right, but like I never really thought twice
No.
about it. I would eat out of a leftover container too and put it back like a container of leftovers, eat some of it and then put it back in the fridge. But supposedly the bacteria like can contaminate the
Of
food.
course it- yes.
Yeah, I know, but like I never really thought about it until we had a kid and then I had to worry
we
about
all
her
have the
food.
same shit. We
Yeah.
all this.
No, but it's not about sharing it between people. I'm saying even if you eat it and you put it back and you're going to go back and eat it again the next day.
Oh yeah,
It's
whatever.
yeah, I don't think it's a big it's a concern for a child, for an infant when they're first starting to eat. You're not supposed to do that, but whatever. Yeah, it's still kind of gross.
Yeah. I don't know. I just assume because we're all in the same atmosphere. If one of us gets sick, we're all gonna get sick.
Oh yeah, I don't care about the germ sharing. I care more about the leaving like one bite left after you eat it out of the carton. I feel like if you gave yourself a serving in a dish,
Yeah.
you would eat that. You would
Yeah.
eat the whole thing. But when you eat out of the carton, you tend to just leave a little bit. That's not actually a serving for anyone, and it's really annoying.
I have two more. So I used to, when we were looking at houses, I was consuming all of the flip this house.
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
I will watch those till the sun comes down.
Mm-hmm.
I am all about those. And now that we have a house and we're doing some renovating and whatnot or just remodeling.
Planning for it, yeah.
I should probably get back on that. But when we were looking
Yeah.
for houses, I remember coming home and wanting to watch, what's the one with the Christians and
Chip and Joanna Gaines?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. What is the name of their show? I'm blanking.
I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Everyone knows who we're
I
talking
wanted to
talking
watch
about.
that every day.
Yeah.
And they never put a TV in the new house, if you ever noticed that.
Yeah, I
They
did
would
notice that.
never put a
Mhm.
TV, but the people weren't allowed to get the furniture anyway.
Oh, it was just like
It's
staged.
show furniture.
Yeah, yeah.
What was my last one?
Oh, well, can I a
Yeah.
similar one to that is the organization shows.
Oh yeah.
Remember when I was out of work not that long ago, well, like a year or two ago, and I was just home watching Netflix, and that was the same time that I think it was Marie Kondo is her name, the professional organizer who has a show on Netflix, and
She would bless everything first or something?
yeah, she had some like very odd rituals, but she was fantastic at organizing things. And
I don't think you were alone.
oh no, it was a phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
people got sucked in, and everybody everywhere was like emptying out their closets and asking themselves if the things that they owned brought them joy.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It's like if you decided that the item doesn't bring you joy, you're supposed to thank it for its service in your life, like
Yeah.
even like a pair of jeans, and then throw it away or donate it or whatever. And I remember I just, for those few weeks that I wasn't working, that's what I did. I completely like emptied our closets, and I was obsessed with that show. I like binged it.
The
and
towel
then,
folding.
yep. And the clothes, I learned how to,
Socks.
and you said, you were like, you're not going to keep, like, this is cool, like, while you're home and you have this extra time on your hands for a few weeks, but you're not going to stick with it. And I still fold that way.
You do?
Yep.
Oh,
It's
okay,
great.
too.
But anyway, yeah, those types of shows too suck me in. Those
do.
home improvement or organization shows.
Lastly, on my birthday or on Christmas, I will say I'm going to buy myself something
Yeah.
and make it a point to say it's my birthday. Even if it wasn't, though, I would probably end up buying it anyway.
Right. But that's your excuse.
It's my excuse, and I buy into it completely. I
Yeah.
say, yeah, I'm going to treat myself for this on my birthday.
Right.
I
Even if
remember-
it's like whey protein or something that you buy like
Oh, I
once a
don't
month
know.
anyway, you'd be like, it's my birthday, so I'm just
No.
going to.
No, I think it'd be a little bit more substantial than that.
Yeah.
I think it
probably.
would be something.
Yeah.
That I want, something that I purposely didn't tell someone that I wanted for one of those occasions, just so I could
could
have an
buy it for
excuse
yourself.
to buy it, right?
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
I should just tell so I don't have to spend the money.
You would find something else though to buy to
That's
treat
true.
yourself. But I don't think that's a bad thing either. I mean, you deserve to treat yourself every once in a while.
Whatever. Anyways, those are mine.
Okay.
I'm sure the Taylor Swift got you going.
that was great.
All right. Well, let's take a break. We put up some polls on Instagram. We could take a break and
Yeah, pretty
we'll
much
go
all
over
of
them.
my guilty pleasures
Are
that
the
I would
polls?
mention are captured in the polls in some
All right.
way or another. So we'll talk about that then.
All right. Hang tight.
All right, so we ended up doing 3 polls. We kind of thought of 3 general categories of typical guilty pleasure type things. I mean, there's a lot more, but so the first one, no shock. If you listen to, I think it was our Rhode Island episode and the 90s episode, we joked about how we kept going to food as
Yeah,
like the
it's always
first
food.
thing that we always talk about food, like the first category of our polls
Yeah.
always ends up being food. So we asked what your like go-to indulgent kind of guilty pleasure snack is.
Yeah.
If it's something sweet like ice cream or like a salty kind of munchy snack like chips and salsa or whatever. And I was surprised actually. It was 78% people said salty.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I was surprised. Well, for me, it's ice cream. That's
Well,
my like indulgent thing.
Usually when something's sweet, you don't eat a lot of it. When something's salty, it at least for me, because you were asking me, what is your snack? And I was going to say pretzels. And you rolled your eyes, and I said, you don't understand. If I start eating pretzels, I
Right.
won't stop
It's
eating
like
them.
well, it's like popcorn or it's like a mindless like you just keep.
No, it's because it's salty.
Yeah, but I think that's part of it. You just want to go back for more. Yeah, I can see that. For me, it's definitely ice cream, but I think it's always linked to one of my other guilty pleasures, like a guilty pleasure TV show. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just the classic like sitting down with a pint of ice cream and watching a stupid TV show. Like that's my little like escape,
Yeah.
indulgent. Guilty
There have been
pleasure.
times that I've sat on the couch and I've eaten a whole pint of Halo Top.
Yeah,
I
Hilt,
don't-
not Ben and Jerry's.
No, not Ben and Jerry's. I don't know when the last time I've had Ben and Jerry's.
It's been a really long time since you've had it.
Yeah. Maybe if someone had it at their house and it was like a birthday party or something, I have indulged. But I've never bought it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've always bought Halo Top
Yeah.
because, I mean, now looking back at Halo Top, it's kind of gross. You know, you slap protein on anything.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time.
There's also no sugar. That's the other big thing.
Yeah, it is sugar-free and it's very low calories for ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's a yogurt. I'm not sure.
I don't think it is.
Well, it can't
think
be an ice cream if it's not made with cream.
I don't know.
I think it's made with milk, which would make it a yogurt.
Okay.
But
I don't
anyways,
think that's true. But okay.
I thought that was the difference. But I don't know. Halo Top's very low in calories. Maybe that's a guilty pleasure. You fucking slap protein on the label of anything, I would buy it.
Yeah, you're sucked in. Mm-hmm.
Not now. There's been a time that I remember we had some yesterday. Kodiak cakes.
Yeah, the pancake mix.
You got protein pancake mix.
Makes it okay.
I'll buy it. It's healthy now
Yeah.
because it's got protein.
It's almost like the
in it.
calories don't count because it's full of protein.
I used to do that
You're all
with
about the
protein
protein.
bars. As long as it said protein on a bar, I would eat it, and then I realized I'm just eating fucking candy with protein added to it.
Pretty much.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Fucking gross. Anyways, yeah, pretzels and veggie straws.
Yep.
If there's a bag of veggie sticks, veggie chips, veggie straws, and I'm not talking about vegetables cut up into straws, I mean the actual product,
Yes.
veggie straws, I will eat the whole bag.
I feel like that's a psychological thing too. Like I think obviously in our logical brains, we know that it's not healthy just because they say that there's vegetables in it. Like, but
I just feel like it's empty because it tastes empty.
yeah, it does. And there's traces of vegetable, like powdered vegetables,
Oh, yeah.
like flavoring the chips, but they're still chips and they still
But
have
they're not
sodium.
fried.
That's
That's
true.
what makes it
Yeah,
different.
well, they probably are. They're better than eating normal potato chips,
Yes.
but it's still like a processed, like
Of
junk
course.
food.
Yes.
But at least for me, I know in my head, I'm always like, oh, I can justify it because it's a veggie stick. It's not a chip.
Yeah. I will eat
But
the
it's
whole
basically
fucking
the same
bag.
thing.
The
Yeah.
whole thing. And it's literally my kryptonite when it comes to my, caloric
Mhm.
intake.
And I always buy them because our daughter loves them.
I mean, yeah. Again, I feel these things are made for children.
Yeah.
And here I am munching away. If we go to a party and I bring those, they're for me.
Right. The
They're-
whole bag.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I don't know many people that enjoy them. Really?
I think a lot of people do.
That and kettle chips.
Yeah.
I can fuck with kettle chips.
Mhm. Or kettle corn. We're getting to that time of year.
Yeah, I'm not going to get any.
Well, no, because the festival we normally
Yeah.
go to get it isn't happening. But
Yeah, I can't do sweet though because I get sick quick. Usually, the only time I indulge in sweets is around the holidays.
well, and in the summer when we go get ice cream.
Yeah, but I get like the low-cal shit, right?
Yeah.
I
like
don't
the
get
soft serve.
the real ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying in abundance.
Right.
I can eat snack shit in abundance. I can't do sweets in
I
abundance.
see what you mean. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just it makes me sick.
Right.
Whereas the saltiness, I think, settles better.
Yeah.
Feels better. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Good.
All right. So next we're talking about TV shows, which I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise and the whole the whole like franchise. So that's what I was going for with the poll. We asked if your indulgent TV show, like mindless shows were reality romance like The Bachelor or game shows, which
You've been on a deal or no deal
I have
kick.
been. There's so right now there's a break in The Bachelor because of COVID.
We gotta do our
and
draft.
They had to, yes. So that's coming. So, there's a break right now when normally I think Bachelor in Paradise would be on right now or might have just ended. But anyway, the seasons of The Bachelor is all messed up, and so I'm in a TV hole where I
Yeah.
don't have like a go-to show.
Usually
Our other
our
fall
fall
TV,
TV
shows,
yes,
right, haven't
yeah.
started yet.
They would now.
Right.
They'd
And
be
so
on.
I love game shows. Like for a while I got into The Wall, which is Chris Hardwick was hosting that. And I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if it got renewed, but there's
I'm sure
been
it's
no
the LeBron
episodes.
James show,
Yep.
so it probably got renewed.
Well, they haven't started it yet. Or maybe they couldn't film it. I don't really know.
Probably because of COVID.
Yeah. But yeah, I love shows like that. And yeah, I've been watching Deal or No Deal. Like I went back to I've seen Deal or No Deal, like when it was first came out and was really popular, like when I would watch it on cable.
Right.
But I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't remember any of the episodes. So for me, it's like a new show. So I like went back to the very beginning. They're all available on Amazon Prime. So I'm watching Deal or No Deal from like 2003 or whatever when it first started. But yeah, I'm totally addicted to those kind of shows.
There's something about pre-HD TV that I like right before the around like 2003, 2005. Watching those shows and here's another one. I didn't tell you about this. I love watching, love, actively look for it on YouTube, To Catch a Predator. I cannot get enough of watching fucking watching all the pedophiles get caught.
It's satisfying to see them get caught.
Chris Hansen, why don't you have a seat over here?
Yeah.
And they do. Why don't you run away?
Yeah.
And they oh, fuck. Okay. Yep. What are you doing here? Just being stupid, I guess. And they fucking admit to it.
So that's not quite, but it reminds me of the other category we considered putting in this poll, which was like true crime, like investigation discovery.
But this is real.
I know. Yeah. Well,
this is real. Because so the YouTube videos there's a whole community. There's a whole the TCAP community, To Catch a Predator, TCAP. Yeah. And they look for people's records, and they were actually arrested and tried and put in jail and shit.
Yeah.
And their lives were ruined for good reasons. Mm-hmm. But
it wasn't set up. The show was actually
no, it was legit.
Yeah. Someone
died on the show. It was someone in a government position, local government or otherwise, was a pedophile.
Oh wow.
And there was a sting. He was involved, and they filmed him outside. There was a standoff, and he shot himself in the head.
Jesus. And
they didn't film that.
They aired.
No.
God.
He was inside his house, and he locked all the doors, and he shot himself in the head.
Wow.
And there was a huge legal thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But still, you watch TCAP, you will never fucking leave it.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch them, and it's just, why don't you have a seat right over here? Sir, have a seat, please. Oh, man. And they do it. And they fucking have a seat. Yeah, sure, no problem. What are you doing here? Being stupid. I don't know. I'm just,
so that's what
I
you're
don't
doing.
know.
When you're
I'm
on your
just
phone,
so lonely.
When you're on your phone and I think you're like,
watching porn? No,
no,
I'm watching
no.
TCAP.
I was going to say setting your lineup or doing some research for fantasy, but yeah, you're watching TCAP.
She just seems so friendly.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm just alone. Well, sir.
It's the same every time.
Do you watch television? No, I don't. Well, I'm Chris Hansen, and I do a show called Dateline. And this is one of our segments called Catch a Predator, and you're on NBC. Oh, this is going to be on film. You don't have my permission. We don't need your permission, sir.
So just the same script, even though it's not a script.
It's the fucking best. So I guess that's the guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I could see that, but I get it. So reality romance won this one, 69% to 31% game shows. And I would think I would also go with reality romance, but I'm a complete sucker for those game shows too.
So reality romance lost.
No, it won.
It won.
69%. Yeah. So, and I almost thought about doing a poll specific to reality romance shows. So like this year, Love is Blind was the big new one that came out on Netflix. Yeah. So I was going to do Love is Blind versus The Bachelor, but I don't even know if we have enough people who watch both of those like I do. But yeah, I also think it's unfair because Love is Blind had like one season, is really new. The Bachelor's been around for like 20 years and has a bunch of different spin-offs and everything.
Yeah, I can't get into it. It just seems
I know
staged.
It's not real. Well, yeah, I know. I mean, and it is. A lot of it is, but there are actual couples who have come out of it and have families and have been successful. Like it does happen, but there's a bunch of it that's also totally staged and scripted and whatever.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah. But that's a whole thing. It doesn't have to be real. It's a suspension of reality to stop your brain from spinning. Like that's what it's for, in my opinion.
Would you say the other shows we watched, like Chicago's and Law and Order, is that guilty pleasure, or is that just?
I think that's a pretty common. People enjoy those
I will watch
genres
any
of
of
shows.
the SVUs.
Yeah, reruns.
Any of them.
Yeah, those are really popular. I wouldn't consider that a guilty pleasure.
All right.
Those are just entertaining. Okay, so the last category that we pulled was music. And I wish I had put Taylor Swift in here. But it's kind of one of the categories I put was so it was boy bands versus like pop country. So I put country in quotes because I meant like
but that's the only country
modern
that really
country.
exists right now.
Well, that's not true. There's still real country. It's
Yeah,
just
but
that's the
by and large.
but it's that's why it's called pop.
Yeah.
It's popular, like Florida Georgia Line and Luke Bryan and stuff like that.
Sure.
The shit that I like.
Gross.
But it's like you talking about tapping along to Taylor Swift, not being able to help it. A lot of those songs,
No.
they're
I'm
pop
tapping
country.
along to that song.
I understand you're limited to one song,
That's
but I'm
it.
saying there's a lot of songs in this genre of pop country that are just super catchy, and
It's all the same fucking formula.
I
right?
know
It's
it's not complicated music.
They play the instrumental chorus to start the song. Then it's verse, chorus, there's a bridge, and then they do the chorus with just a single instrument, and then they go back into a full chorus.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking formula every single song, no matter who the artist is.
And a lot of
for
them are the
country
same
music.
chords even.
Sure.
Like it's so predictable.
Sure.
Yeah. But I can't help it. I love it.
I can't get into it. I can't even say I tried because I was forced to listen to it because when we're in the car together, now that when we didn't have a child, because now we just listen to Sesame Street in the car.
Right.
But when we didn't have a child, you would just put it on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just the same thing. And look, boy bands aren't immune to this either.
Mhm.
It's the same formula,
Right.
but at least I have some history.
Right. There's a nostalgic connection with the boy bands. So
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't surprised that boy bands won by a lot. It was 86% voted for boy bands, 14% for pop country.
But that's just the majority of these people are in our age group, I would
Yeah.
imagine. I wonder if that would be different for younger people today. Like if you said country versus K-pop, K-pop would win.
Really?
For young people today,
Yeah.
K-pop's huge.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
People love K-pop. I
can't
don't get
relate.
it. I've never
We're
listened
too
to it.
old.
I don't get it. I just don't understand. But there's something about K-pop that's really resonating with people.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to country, I think, I don't know. There was a time that it was at its all-time high, and now it's sort of, I don't know. Is it still popular?
I don't know. So honestly, I listened to it before I really got into podcasts and listening to or like NPR, like listening to talk radio and everything. That's kind of more what I spend my time listening to when I am in the car now. But I before that, when I would listen to music in the car, that would be my go-to station because I just preferred it over the rock stations or the pop stations or whatever. It was just kind of like the best option. But I don't really listen to it anymore. I think maybe that's a function of what's happening for a lot of people. Just a lot of people, I think a lot more people listen to podcasts or audiobooks or whatever when they're driving more than they listen to the radio. Or maybe that's just me.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I know the music industry is suffering because they can't do live shows.
Yeah.
Musicians weren't making money on albums anymore. It was all live shows. That's why live shows cost so much.
Well, because everything is streamed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's taking a toll on the artists that aren't already established. It's taking a huge toll.
Right.
A couple more came into my head when we were talking because, we talk about movies or we talk about TV shows. Oftentimes when we watch a movie, that was the last poll, right?
Yes.
Oftentimes when we watch a movie, I'll Wikipedia it just to read the ending because I don't want to fucking wait. And sometimes I'll say, this is going to happen. And you're like, how the fuck did you know? Yeah.
Well, a lot of times you're wrong when you make predictions.
Well, that's when I didn't read ahead.
Right. So if you so basically what you're saying is the only way for you to correctly predict what's going to happen in a movie is if you cheat and look it up.
I cannot
Otherwise
stand
you
suspense.
cannot guess.
I hate suspense. I fucking hate
You're
suspense.
so impatient. That
Is
doesn't
why
surprise me.
when sports are on, there's no spoiler
Right.
when it's live.
Mhm.
And I fucking can't stand it when when it's a close game. Either give me a blowout to my team or by my team.
Oh my God.
Don't make it close.
Yeah. Well, that's super I get super anxious too watching close matchups that
Fucking
I care
hate
about.
it when it's
Yeah.
close. But yeah, if we watch a movie and it's really, especially a thriller
Uh-huh.
with a mystery or something,
Yeah.
I'll look ahead.
Oh God, such an asshole.
I don't like. I like knowing.
All right, so if we do the Bachelor bracket, the fantasy thing, there are spoilers out there.
I wouldn't look.
Don't
no,
cheat.
because you have to draft the day of.
Yeah, there's already spoilers out.
Oh, so they already know who won?
This season is very weird because they started it late because of COVID and everything, and then the Bachelorette apparently left the show in the middle of filming because she said she was already in love with one of the guys.
Is this a spoiler that you're giving right here?
This is like they've
it's
already
common knowledge.
Well, if you follow the Bachelor, yeah, because they already re-announced there's rumor, like it's widely rumored that there's another Bachelorette that was chosen to take over.
My question is, do you know who won?
Technically, no, not for the new Bachelorette.
That's what I'm saying.
I know who the original Bachelorette picked and left the show for.
So she didn't. That's not the end
She
of
didn't
the
complete
show.
the show.
Right. So
Okay.
it wouldn't count.
All right, fine.
You have to.
So we're not going to draft based on her though, because she's not going to stick around.
No. You have to draft.
Okay.
I'm walking in blind.
Yeah.
You draft the player. You get the list of the bachelors that are there for the Bachelorette
On night one.
and we have a random draft order.
Yep.
And you watch that episode first, so you can have some sort of history of the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, he's my guy. I need to try to pick him.
It's just they film it ahead of time, so like it's already been
You
filmed.
shouldn't have ever fucking said this to me.
Why?
Because now I'm going to be tempted to look.
Well, don't.
Well,
You have a little self-control.
I'll try.
I won't look either. It's very easy to find. I won't look.
Whatever. Yeah, so when we watch thrillers and stuff on Netflix and I'm sucked in and it's good.
It's going to be hilarious to watch you like lose your patience and lose your shit over The Bachelor because you can't deal with the suspense.
Well, here's what we'll do. Once the draft is over, it doesn't matter if I look at spoilers at that point. I can't draft anybody else.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Okay.
it's just, and we can have it. How many are in the first episode?
Oh, I don't even know.
Available men for
like
the
30?
Bachelorette? Right. So if it's just the two of us, we'll have 15 apiece.
Right.
Right. Or if other people get involved, we'll divide it equally.
Right.
And we'll have multiple rounds. So you're not just resting your laurels on one person.
One person. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I do. I do that often. Often.
I don't have anything like that I hide from you that I do. I don't cheat watching movies or TV shows or anything like that. I just fall asleep.
When there's a new movie coming out, so for instance, the new Batman movie coming out, I constantly look for updates and spoilers.
Oh my God.
Constantly. I'm always saying what was found in the production today, or if there's an episode on YouTube that says spoiler ahead from a trusted source about the Batman movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
You know what's really funny that just came into my head? The fact that when we watch a movie, and so we should both know what happened, we go back and we're looking for a movie to watch, a couple years later, and you'll be like, we saw that one.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
And we'll go back and forth, and I'll insist that we never saw it, and you'll be like, okay, I'll put it on. You'll see. Watch the first few minutes. You'll remember. And I'm like, nope. Well, I don't remember what happened, so I can watch it multiple times and still not know what's gonna happen.
You've been Men in Blacked somehow.
Yeah. Well, probably because I fall asleep.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Feels good to get it off my chest.
Well, now I'm really gonna give you shit about being on your phone when we're watching movies because you're gonna.
Yeah,
be,
that's
I know
what
you're
I'll
gonna
do.
Be, yeah.
I'll have it over here towards my hip, and I'll do the glance down to Wikipedia, and I'm just. Oh, that's interesting. And then I'll lock it and I'll say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this happened?
Oh my God.
How'd you know that? I don't know. Pretty cool, right?
Well, jig's up. I'm not going to let you do that anymore.
Pretty smart, huh? Yeah, you married a fucking movie genius guy. Anyways, I don't have any more. Do you?
No.
Okay. You're pretty transparent.
Yeah. I think that's my worst. Well, the only other one I can think of is like, I get sucked into makeup tutorials on Instagram and stuff sometimes.
Oh, that's not weird.
But it's like for shit that I'm never gonna, like, I don't even wear a lot of makeup, but even when I do, it's nothing crazy.
Like
but
these BuzzFeed videos or some shit?
Yeah, stuff like that. Or like, there's their hair ones that's like crazy hair.
Weird.
People like coloring their hair and stuff, like just shit that I would never do anyway.
It's unique.
But it's fascinating. I think that's another thing though, that there is an artistic element to that. Like people who do makeup are creative and there's something there. But I can get sucked in. It's just the same thing. It's like one after another, just like this mindless crap that I'm never going to use. But it sucks you right in.
I do that with recipe tutorials.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to make this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch
Right.
and pretend I will.
Yep.
Maybe one day I'll wow someone.
Oh, there's a lady who does she packs lunch for her kids and she does like these beautiful like bento box lunches.
Yeah, I'm not doing
And they're
that
like
shit.
gourmet,
No.
like she like cuts the fruit and stuff into like cute shapes and like and it's like
The kid does not care.
No, but it's like mesmerizing. And there's so many like funny spoofs of it where someone will do a side-by-side video of themselves packing their kids' lunch against the bento box lunch lady. And they're like, throwing in like a whole head of lettuce and like accidentally put in like a beer or like it's like these parody things are really funny. Yeah, those get me too.
I actively look for adult butt wipes. Like dude wipes.
What do you mean you look for them?
Well, I have dude wipes.
Yeah.
And I bought the new Mint Chill
Right.
because first of all, it's like Listerine for your asshole.
Okay.
10 out of 10
TMI.
would recommend.
Uh-huh.
But like different brands.
Oh, so you're shopping for
Yeah.
butt wipes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the next time you can't peel your eyes away from your phone and I'm annoyed,
How
I'm
do you
going to
think I
know
found-
you're either looking up movie spoilers or shopping for butt wipes.
Well, that or like the new pooperies. That's how I found out about the pumpkin one.
chai
Yeah.
one.
So every time I take a shit, it's pumpkin.
It's so funny when that came in the mail that day. Your mom was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she was totally joking. She got the package and she saw it was poopery. She's like, "Oh, what did he get? Pumpkin spice poopery?" I'm like, "Yep."
Yes. Yes, I did.
It is.
Yes. No shame.
Oh my god.
So if there's pumpkin spice butt wipes,
You're on it.
I'll buy them.
Uh-huh.
I'll buy them. And that's another guilty pleasure, pumpkin spice anything.
Yeah.
I've made that known.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Let it be known. All right. If you have any guilty pleasures that you want to get off your chest and you want us to know about, and we promise we won't share them with anybody other than the people that are listening, maybe, feel free to lay it on us and just set yourself free. It feels good to know that my wife now knows that I enjoy
We
one
can jam
Taylor
out to
shit.
Taylor Swift together.
Yes. Maybe I
Can't
have to
wait.
keep that private.
No, that's happening.
Okay. Anyways, if you want to hit us up, you can do so. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Facebook is at While She's Napping. Instagram at While She's Napping. Twitter.
Facebook.com/
Oh, yeah,
while she's
whatever.
napping.
Twitter at She's Napping Pod, and you can email us your guilty pleasures at whileshe'snapping@gmail.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to the show. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I'm really liking Spotify now. Castbox, all these podcatchers that you use to get your podcast fix from. We are there. Subscribe to us. Leave us a review if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts. It helps a lot. And just enjoy the ride. Next Saturday is this coming Saturday is our anniversary. 5 years we've been married, 13 together. So a little bit more than 13, but
Yeah.
we'll be doing an episode on, much like the So You Want to Have a Baby episode, it will be So You Want to Get Married episode. So
Yep.
stay tuned. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah. We'll reflect on, I think we're going to talk about both our wedding and the whole, getting engaged and the wedding and then marriage itself.
And if you're in that boat and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should pop the question, this episode's for you. So stay tuned for that. That will be next week. And then it should be noted for the month of October, Cindy and I have already discussed, it's all going to be centered around issues dealing with not just the election, but issues that are mainly political that are influencing people's choices in terms of the election.
Yeah.
So
we had kind of tried to stay away from it and we wanted to have the podcast that was like, an escape from everything that was going on in 2020. We started this right in March when COVID really hit. And, but for the next month, we need to be honest with ourselves that we're not going to be able to escape it.
It's
and
a primer.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go with it because that's what's on our minds. That's what we're going to be, paying attention to. And so that's what we're going to talk about for the month of October.
But we will have a Halloween episode sprinkled in there towards the end. So it's not going to be all serious talk, there will be at least one fun episode. And if we can get another one in there, we will. But that's going to do it. So until next week, thanks for listening. Take it easy.
Go vote.